Hey there, and welcome back to the Casual Fan Podcast, the hardest working, most accurate, most entertaining, and above all else, the most profitable sports gambling podcast you will find anywhere. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Casual Fan Podcast here on YouTube and myself on Twitter at Ben's_best_bet. If you did, you will have seen preseason predictions like this. Now let's go with the Mets under the 90.5. Great on paper, but we've seen this big spending offseason act before. James cannot reach this total. The Los Angeles Angels under 83.5. God, I hope I'm wrong about the Angels, guys. Baseball needs to see Trout make a playoff run here. Toronto BJs take the over 86.5. I'm telling you right now, you should take that in a big GO way. I'm telling you, take it. There may be pitching concerns, but they'll get reinforcements one way or another if they need, and their lineup is fire. The White Sox take the over 91.5. It's easy as money, Grandal. The Baltimore Orioles, it's gonna be under 60.5 for me. I don't want to sound means, but this team is just brutal. The White Sox are dark horses for the pennant, and I think that they'll win the AL Central by a greater margin than any team wins their respective division. As you just witnessed, I could not have been more right on the Chicago White Sox. I'm gonna take a break from nailing NFL picks to tell you why the Chicago White Sox at plus 330 to win the AL are the best bet to make. Or if you feel like throwing caution into the October wind, bet them plus 700 to win the whole darn thing. Right now, the odds significantly favor the Rays and the Astros, and I just think the Sox should be in that conversation. I don't know why they're lagging behind so much, but I sure will exploit it. The Sox will play the Astros in the ALDS, that we know. Houston at minus 125, the White Sox at plus 105. For this series, the Astros will have home field advantage, but I just think the White Sox can hang with them and get their first postseason series win since 2005. And with the odds as juicy as they are, I just can't resist. And you shouldn't either. Sure, the cheating Astros are 5-2 this season against these White Sox, but this is the postseason, so we'll throw all that out the window. In fact, Carlos Rodon, Lucas Giolito, and Dylan Cease all had phenomenal games against the Astros. They really did a great job shutting down one of the best lineups in the league. There's still no word on if Carlos Rodon will suit up for the White Sox. He is battling an injury, but I'm hopeful he'll contribute in some way. If they do move on and face Tampa in the next round, they were 3-3 against the Rays this season. In the 3 games they lost, Ronaldo Lopez started 1, Dallas Keuchel started 1, and they faced Tyler Glasnow in the other one. None of those 3 situations are happening again. Now let's pit these top 3 AL favorites against each other here. We're gonna look at the top 3 or 4 starters for each team, we're gonna look at the bullpens, and we're gonna look at the lineups. When it comes to starting pitching, it's not even close, guys. The White Sox are number 1 with a bullet. And in the postseason, that's what really counts. Let's combine all the starters from these 3 teams, all of them that pitched over 100 innings. Well, the White Sox have not 1, not 2, not 3, but the top 4 when it comes to WAR. Those 4 guys are also in the top 6 of K per 9. When it comes to CSW, the White Sox have 3 guys above 29.8%. The other 2 teams have 1 each. Shane McClanahan, who has been great this year for the Rays, and Lance McCullers for the Astros, who's been great, but he also leads the majors in walks, so you have to take that into account as well. Let's not forget that Lance Lynn and Carlos Rodon were in the Cy Young conversation pretty much all year. Now let's switch over to the bullpens, where the Astros get left behind even more. They by far have the worst bullpen of the 3, a 4.06 ERA. The White Sox are at 3.96, the Rays are at 3.29. Now, in terms of WAR, the Rays are 7.9. The White Sox are virtually the same at 7.8. The Houston Astros are back at 3.6, league average. But you can't really talk about the White Sox bullpen production before August 1st. That's when they acquired Craig Kimbrell. The Rays also switched things around at the deadline, getting rid of Luis Castillo and making a few moves in their pen as well. So since that fateful day acquiring Kimbrell, the White Sox are 2nd in the league. The Rays did a decent job. They came in 9th with a 3.56 ERA and a 2.3 WAR. Houston even further behind. Liam Hendricks, he leads the league in relief pitcher WAR and is 6th in the league in the K per 9. His teammate Craig Kimbrell, who we just mentioned, he's tied for 5th in WAR but is 3rd in K per 9, behind only Aroldis Chapman and Josh Hader. Pretty good company. Granted, he's allowed a lot more walks and home runs since going to the South Side Chicago, but when the big lights are on, Craig Kimbrell's gonna deliver. Bear in mind that when looking at these bullpen stats, the Rays predictably threw the most bullpen innings this year, the only team to go above 700 innings pitched from their bullpen. And they'll almost definitely have the most relief innings pitched in the postseason, which is good most of the time, but it can backfire. To be honest with you, we don't have to spend too much time looking at these offenses because they're all elite, and on their day against certain matchups, they could all deliver. The Astros had a .784 OPS, the White Sox .758, the Rays .749. All top 10 in the league. Bear in mind though, the White Sox were without Eloy Jimenez for a good chunk and Luis Robert for most of the season. Now they're back and hitting really well, especially Robert, however you want to say it. But as you can see, all three lineups have just star players throughout, worthy of playing in the postseason. If you had to rank them, you'd have to rank the Astros number 1. They're the number 1 and number 2 players in terms of AL batting average with Gurriel and with Brantley. Not to mention how good Kyle Tucker's been, Yordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve. They've all been phenomenal. But it's playoffs, and like a hot goalie in hockey, a couple of hot starters like the White Sox have can shut down a great offense. So if you're looking at the White Sox starters and bullpen versus a Houston lineup, I'm gonna take the White Sox here. So my goal in this video wasn't to say that the White Sox would definitely win the AL. It certainly wasn't to say they'll definitely win the pennant, but it's just to show you that I think by far it's the best bet on the board to make entering this postseason that you get the most value out of. If you think I'm dead wrong, that's totally fine, because after this we're gonna get back to betting football games and we're gonna keep crushing it because our record's unbelievable. Pat Southern's record's unbelievable too. He bets the NFL as well, and he's gonna start covering the NHL as it moves forward. This is the Casual Fan Podcast. We're giving out great content like this all the time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter at Benz_best_bets. I think it's almost inarguably the best time to be a sports fan in North America. We've got a month of NFL under our belts. The NBA is starting back up. The NHL is starting back up. Playoff baseball. Wow, what a time to be alive. Like, subscribe, peace.